Welcome back, guys, to F1 2016 Career Mode. It's round number 19, and it's the Mexican Grand Prix. We're near enough closing out the season now. Near enough. It's been a long one. But we're here. It's the last round, but two, as it were. As you would have seen in the American Grand Prix, we are now out of the running for the World Drivers' Championship, which is unfortunate. But, you know, nothing we could really look to do about that. We also lost a rivalry with Kimi Räikkönen for the third time. So, other teams have upgraded their cars. I mean, we've got little left we can do. I wanted to keep upgrading for the aspect of trying to challenge for the title. But in that regard, we have, we can't do that anymore. We're 77 points behind Hamilton. It's mathematically impossible. So, we're probably going to see R&D cease on the car for this season, likely at some point this episode. We're just going to be fighting off Kimi Räikkönen, who's only 4 points behind us, and trying to help Magnussen as well, who's only got 39 points this year in our fight with Red Bull. So here we go. We're in the stadium section here at Mexico, doing our track acclimatization, because we're still doing it. We're still trying to get the points, because why wouldn't we be trying to get the points? Points are always helpful for all the reasons. There we go. Purple score. Mexico's okay. It's too power orientated for my liking. But nah, you know, I can't really fault it. The lap times are pretty quick. A lot of laps in the Grand Prix though. But there we go. Tyre wear test all done, all complete, all purple score, all 50 resource points. And you know, the qualifying program, I was surprised. I've struggled with it a lot recently, but we got the purple score. I must admit, it helped with the updates. We did really well in the middle sector, but we've got a new rival.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
I mean, you know, I didn't do it with Raikkonen, so I'll join Nico Rosberg, someone even harder than Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, yeah, we see you couldn't beat Kimi Räikkönen, who's slower than you, so here's Nico Rosberg, he's faster. Great game. Cheers. Appreciate it. One thing I will say is that I accidentally lost... I don't know what happened to the file, but I lost, like, the big intro bit, so we're going to jump into the Grand Prix fairly shortly. There was our qualifying lap, that was 1:18.3, so that plops us in P6, and that's where it ends. So, obviously Red Bull, it's Red Bull, Ferrari, we split the Mercedes. So, there you go, you know, so not too bad, just couldn't obviously get into the 17s, but... You know, the Mexican Grand Prix will be interesting. We're quite strong in the middle sector compared to the AI, so I'm hoping to use that as part of the race. Speaking of the race, I'll be coming up any moment. I haven't got that long intro, so... Yeah, I don't know what happened with the recording. That bit was just super corrupt. But yeah, here we go then. So, let's see what we can do from 6th on the grid as we build to 3, 4, 5 lights. And the Mexican Grand Prix is underway. Rich mix, Vettel... pulling out, so Vettel start wasn't even that bad. We're just going to pull out, and we're going to avoid Rosberg. Looks to come across. We duck into the slipstream of Ricciardo. Looks like Massa's gaining. We're going to try and split the Red Bulls. All we had to ease off down the inside. There's contact being made. More contact. Yellow flag. We've been deeply spun out into turn 1. Daniel Ricciardo going spearing off, and he's already out of the Grand Prix. So what has happened in a turn 1? We doing a Gymkhana slide. So here we go. Daniel Ricciardo's been forced to turn in. His wheels busted. We had to take the curb. That's what unsettled our car so badly. And look at the stricken Red Bull. Here we go again from Daniel. He just turns into us. And that then in turn skids him in front of everyone else. He's probably got some contact was made with his teammate by the looks of things. On board with Max Verstappen. Here comes Ricciardo across. Yeah, he's definitely got front wing damage after that. Interestingly, Max on the soft tyre. The harder one's available. So we'll see what his strategy is now that he's got front wing damage. But look, end of lap 2, because Max Verstappen managed to hold the field up quite a bit, we've built a nice little lead to Rosberg and Raikkonen actually as we come across the line for the fastest lap of the race, at least for now. We've got 3.5 seconds back to Nico Rosberg at this point, but you've got to expect that they're going to be gaining on us lap 5 now, and the scenario is, I mean, we've still got a bit of a lead. You saw Rosberg flash across our mirrors briefly as he goes through the hairpin. We're going to come in, get rid of these super soft compound tyres, and look to go onto a set of soft tyres for the next stint of the race. Was it soft tyres? I honestly can't remember my strategy because obviously I didn't get it up on screen because that part of the recording was corrupt. No idea. Yes, it is soft tyres. Lovely stuff. And Renault actually getting me out ahead of a car for once, purely because we actually had a bit of a lead to Rosberg, so we didn't have to be held. Where are we going to come out? Because of the length of the straight here in Mexico, we're going to feed out somewhere. There goes Ericsson and Wehrlein. So we feed out into 16th behind 2 battling back markers. Not exactly what you want at the end of the day, as Ericsson looking to defend from Wehrlein, who goes down the inside of turn 1. Ericsson looked to hold it around the outside, but Wehrlein forced his way through. These guys are on worn soft compound tyres, so hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult to get past them. Although Ericsson parked his car really nicely in the middle of that chicane. But here we go, sitting in the slipstream, we'll build up the speed, we'll eventually get there, and we're going to extend one from a long way back into the next chicane down the inside. That moves us up into 15th place, and we can't afford to be wasting any time. Into the double right hander, we're going to send one right down the inside of Wehrlein, try and scare him out of the way, which is exactly what we did. We can't be wasting time. We need to try and build this lead up against Nico Rosberg one more time. So here we go, it's a lap later. Rio Haryanto leads a train of Alonso and Grosjean and myself, and again we get slightly held up in the middle of that chicane. This lap we've got the DRS due to being at the detection point, and we're closer to Grosjean than we were last time around to Ericsson. Here we go, down the inside, trying not to ram it into the back of Fernando Alonso. The Toro Rossos are going at it hammer and tongs as well, so we've now got an absolute train through the middle sector here at Mexico, which is what you want to avoid. But Haryanto doing really well considering his positioning on the grid and what car he's in there. So here we go, we've got to try and just follow the cars through, obviously with the dirty air, so we've got to stick behind Alonso the best we can. Car sliding a little bit, as you can see, get it nice and positioned. Alonso went out wide, we'll cut across, look to get him down the inside of the following right-hander into the stadium section, brake really late, oh, nearly made contact with Rio Haryanto, and we dive it through in at 8th place, and we're now up behind the two Toro Rossos of Kvyat and Sainz as more guys make their way into the pits, including Kvyat. So Sainz now up in 4th, still on super soft tyres on lap 8. Here we go now, we're going to look to line him up in our popular overtaking opportunistic, good work, good English Simon, great, of the race in the slipstream of Sainz down the inside, and here we go, up in a 4th. Sainz finding it harder than the last couple of guys, but alas, futile. Kevin Magnussen actually at the moment, I believe, currently up in 2nd position. Here we go, this is a couple of laps later. This is Sebastian Vettel going through the stadium section, and his Ferrari engine has absolutely launched itself. And he's going around the final sector, leaving probably a wonderful trail of oil as well. And he's going to pull off here at the side of the road as he's out of the race. Lap 11 now, everyone's made their pit stops. We've now got Kimi Räikkönen and Nico Rosberg all over us. Räikkönen jumping Rosberg in the pit stop phase there then. And we're now going down the main straight. I mean, they've got more power than what we've got. Our soft tyres are wearing out as we go under one banner. Räikkönen's up alongside. Rosberg not looking to waste any time. We come across Räikkönen. We're going to make a late move down the inside. Try and get it just slowed down for the apex there. And that's actually allowed Rosberg to get through on Kimi Räikkönen up into 2nd place. But we defended well. All we've got to worry about now is these guys got slipstream and DRS into the next corner. Rosberg thinks about it briefly, but doesn't have enough speed to come down our inside. So here we go. Lap 13. Jeff offering me an alternate strategy. I'm sorry, Jeff, but I'm too focused here on this race as we go 3 abreast towards turn 1. The Ferrari, the Mercedes, we duck out from behind Rosberg down the inside of Räikkönen. Got some double toe. Taking a lot of curb on the inside, scaring Rosberg out of the way because he's still in a fight for the world title with Lewis Hamilton. And we just about keep our position there for the lead of this race, fighting because we need to worry about Räikkönen as well. You know, these are our previous rival and our rival. Here we go, next lap, Rosberg got a great run on us out of the first chicane down the inside of the 4th corner, and we go round the outside, just about keep it on the inside, push him out wide. Räikkönen gets a momentary sniff but isn't able to get through because we're battling Räikkönen for 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship. And here we go, we now get the strategy called coming for the medium tyres. I'm going to look to go for an undercut. I don't think the mediums will be able to last 22 laps. I would love them to, but essentially we need to look to try and do an undercut here to essentially try and build on that lead. But I don't know how the mediums feel around here outside of doing the 1 lap on the track acclimatisation. So, and we've got to try and get out. I mean, look at all the cars. We have a big gap to the rest of the field. Look at all the cars that are going to be coming around the final corner as we fall down to 8th, 9th, 10th. So out of the pits one more time, and we're going to slot in just behind Valtteri Bottas in 11th place on the medium tyres. So everyone ahead of us is on a worn set of softs, and we are on a fresh set of mediums. We can try and take them as long as we can, but I don't think they're going to quite make it to the end. Here we go, favourite overtaking spot on the circuit, slipstream. Not DRS and assisted against Valtteri Bottas down the inside. Bottas tries to hold it around the outside. position ourselves beautifully. That's been a great spot for us so far. And we've come out the pits behind another goddamn train of vehicles. Now, being on the mediums, it took us a couple of laps longer to actually catch them, which wasn't ideal, but here we go. There's Magnussen, Hulkenberg, so we've got Magnussen, both Force Indias, and Jensen Button. We're going to get some DRS, as it looks like there's about to be an absolutely huge accident in the next corner. The Force Indias nearly run into each other. Hulkenberg defending against Button now. Hulkenberg's going to get run out wide by the McLaren, and look, just here he tries to hold it around the outside, so we're going to duck it, get better traction on our fresher tyres, and win it up again into 9th place. We need to dispose of this train as fast as we can and get in some fresh air. And here we go now. Further in, Button, we're in the slipstream, coming into the stadium section, down the inside. Not as much grip on those medium tyres. We've actually bumped him out of the way there, and Hulkenberg gets his way back through, but medium's definitely vast contrast to the soft tyres. Speaking of which, the undercut, because we got stuck in traffic, hasn't worked because Raikkonen comes out there and he's ahead of us. And I believe Hamilton's also, not Hamilton, sorry, Rosberg has already made his stop, and he's going to be well up there as well. So that hasn't worked out for us. So essentially, we're now in probably a net 4th, especially when it comes in regards to the two Mercedes drivers. So we just need to keep focused, keep pumping in the lap times as well as we can. And here's a few laps later as we're now under pressure from a Red Bull going into the stadium section as we go side by side. And we've got a Williams in there as well, just for good measure. I believe this to be Max Verstappen, obviously, you know, recovering after the first corner incident. So here we go, lap 27 now. The mediums, I've had enough of them. They weren't giving me the speed that I needed. So we have to be the first to come in. I think we're going to be one of the very few on a 3-stop here. We're going to come in for one final set of soft compound tyres and do a push to the end. Otherwise, we were just going to fall backwards through the field, and probably the tyres wouldn't have even made it to the end of the race. So we drop to 9th as Hulkenberg goes through. There goes Sainz and Alonso. So we're going to come out in 11th by the looks of things. No, because Button and Bottas are going to come screaming past. So we're now 13th. And once again, we've come out behind a group of cars. We can't just come out in thin air. But while I was exiting the pits, turns out there's a massive scrap going on for the lead between the two Mercedes and Kimi Raikkonen and Rosberg down the double right-hander. And he's made contact with Kimi Raikkonen. Let's jump on board with the Ferrari. So Hamilton fought his way through on Rosberg. Rosberg tries to hold around the outside of the double right as Raikkonen takes the racing line, and there's contact between the front wing of the Ferrari and the left rear twice. Or sorry, right rear of the Mercedes. And if he hasn't got a puncture, I'll be very surprised. But here we go. Carlos Sainz is slowing the field down. We've got Alonso, Bottas, Button and Sainz all ahead of us now. We're on fresh, super soft tyres. Sorry, soft compound tyres. We need to cut through this pack like a hot knife through butter if we want to get any further points, because everyone else ahead of us is so spread out. You know, it's not like there's another gaggle for us to get through, so we dispatch a Button as quick as we can. Now, through the dirty air, having to ease off. Now we line up Bottas into the stadium section. So here we go, deep down the inside to try and scare Bottas out of the way. That's exactly what we try and do. He tries to hold it down the inside to the hairpin. Doesn't quite make it. We're going to line ourselves up now for a shot at Fernando Alonso. We're probably best off waiting for down the back of the long straight to have a go at the McLaren. The Toro Rosso still looking slow, so we've got the Toro Rosso punching a hole in the air. The McLaren is then widening that hole as we sit in the slipstream. We've built at over 220 miles an hour. Double toe from the cars ahead of us. Slam on the brakes, get past Sainz. Could have had a look at Alonso, but that would have just been a huge crash, and we'd have probably ended up like Daniel Ricciardo off of that one. Tried to get past Alonso through the second part of the chicane, but Alonso got left-footed. And here we go then. We're through. And it's now lap 29 as we cross. We have set the fastest lap, showing our speed on the soft tyre, the 1:19.7. We have 5 seconds to Hulkenberg with that many laps to go. I cut it because essentially it was just me going absolute sweat mode, putting in, you know, what late 1:19s, early 1:20s, trying to catch Hulkenberg. We've caught him up with 2 laps to go in the Grand Prix. The best we can hope for is 8th place now as we go to our favourite spot of the whole weekend, diving it down the inside against Hulkenberg, and we move up into 8th place. But I absolutely shredded my soft tyres trying to catch him, so we couldn't get any further up the field, unfortunately. So we're going to come home in 8th. Not good enough.
Not good enough. Not good enough at all. Let's push harder next time, okay?
It's been my privilege over the years to witness a number of great sporting events, and here's another to add to that prestigious list. It's the ultimate dream for any racing driver. We have a new Formula One World Champion. So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So there you have it. The World Drivers' title has been decided with 2 rounds to go. Lewis Hamilton has been crowned the World Drivers' Champion. Kimi Raikkonen brings it home 2nd while we are in 8th. So Raikkonen gains 14 points on us and jumps us, which is not what we wanted. The engineers said a sentiment that it wasn't good enough. Thankfully, Kevin Magnussen brought it home in 5th to get a nice chunk of points. And then we get, you know, your likes of Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo retiring, as we saw at the start here. And well, what... It was very similar to Austria, the car. We just shredded our tyres way too fast. Looking at it, we're only 20 points behind Rosberg, so we do have a shot at 2nd in the championship, but we need to be realistic with these last 2 races. Red Bull are now 40 points ahead of us, so we need to look to try and be getting points back on those guys. I mean, if I can get 3rd in the championship, even 2nd, that'd be great, but 4th for the first year with Renault would be good, but we still need to push in these final 2 rounds of the championship, so... yeah, disappointing one. The car just shredded through its tyres. I think if we were on the 2-stop, we would have probably just dropped off from the Mercedes and the Ferrari. And, yeah, I mean, so we would have come home 4th. That means Magnussen would have probably been around 5th, 6th, but just not good enough today. I mean, the pace of the car was there early. It was just the medium tyre didn't work out. But, you know, what can you do? Sometimes just what can you do? But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed and comment any feedback down below. Greatly appreciate it. Sorry that there was that big chunk of video missed about the, you know, like the intro that I like to include. I have no idea what happened to the recording, honestly. But yeah, anyway, next time out, it's going to be Brazil next up on the calendar. I haven't actually recorded that race yet because I had stockpiled a big load to go through. But hit subscribe, enable them notifications to be notified about the content when it comes out. I will see you all next time.